Oh, it's a good one coming your way, full of laughter. You've seen his videos on your phone. Here he is having a good old chat with me from Canada. It's Sangtar. Hi, Sangtar. Welcome to the Tommy Sandhu podcast. It's just instant. I instantly feel cheeky. I feel like I'm going to do Putte because you're on the podcast.
I don't know, man. I give off the vibe, I guess.
Yeah, but I bet you're not. As always, if someone who makes content doing Putte they
Yeah,
normally quite sit that's they're quite boring and quite quiet normally.
yeah.
Are you quite chop when you're just chilling?
No, no, no. I'm pretty talkative, annoying, loud. I'm all of that,
Okay, good.
but definitely not boring like that. But I'm pretty lazy though. Like I don't like going out too much.
Yeah.
I'm at
Because
home.
what? Because you can't be bothered with dealing. Because now, you're getting a lot of fame and notoriety, right? You're out there, you're one of the highest profile Asian, I say British Asian, I'm so used to saying that. Desis Asians from outside of India,
Yeah,
on social media, on your own platforms, you're an entrepreneur in that way. You're running your own thing. It's become a thing now. You're a thing.
yeah,
Sing.
yeah.
This thing has become a thing. And so, like, is that why you don't like going out? Because of all the people, the attention?
No, 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 no. That's definitely not the reason. I've always been like that. I've always never been like very like trying to go outside and shit. Like I'd rather stay inside and watch like movies and TV shows
Yeah.
and just eat, I guess, and get fat. But other than that, like it's not about the attention and anything like that. But it's more about like I don't know. I just don't like going out too much. Sometimes, like I mean, hanging out with friends, with the right friends, I would love it. Like you get to meet, you're open. You could be yourself.
Yeah.
You can say a lot of the stuff that you can't say. You know, with a lot of other people, right? So that's fun. But other than that, like I'm not really like a going out type of guy.
Yeah. I got to start with this. Your levels of, I don't know what you call parvar. I don't know what that word's come to my head. Tu koi parvar nahi karta. Like what you do in the videos now, you go for it.
Yeah,
I'm still aware, somewhere in the back of my mind when you're making content or when you do, even doing this interview now, I'm like, yeah, my dad's going to hear this, or like my wife's like colleagues might go, oh, so your husband does a podcast? We'll
yeah,
check it out. And then they'll click this on. They'll go, oh, we didn't realize he talks like that. Or my kid's teacher told me he listened to the podcast the other day.
yeah, yeah,
And I thought, shit, what did he hear? What did he do? You don't care. You got guns out. You got the gala. Okay, you bleep them out. You
yeah.
got, you're de koi parvani. That's what the phrase that comes to my head. You don't care.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm human, man. Like I'm not like we're all human, right? We all in our life we make mistakes and all that. So I don't look at myself like I'm different than anybody else. So I don't act different than everybody else. I'm just me, right? Like whatever. Like how do I explain this like the right way? It's like I don't want to be seen as like yo, this guy's he's better than us or like like he's a better human being or anything. I'm not like that. I make mistakes every day. Probably made a mistake in the morning, probably gonna make a mistake after this podcast, right? So I'm like everybody else. I literally think like everybody else, right? So we make mistakes and like that's another thing. I don't give a crap about like what I say in the video says because like I'm trying to be different than everybody else. Everybody has their own different, what they do different, right? But I'm trying to be more different than everybody else. Like the normal comedy, I want to do different. I want to do something different than what they do, right? Add my own spice to the my own comedy, right? And like again, the relatable comedy, everybody does it. Everybody has done the same concepts, right? You can't change that because it's relatable, right?
Yeah.
How are you gonna change the relatable aspect, right? So, but you could add your own spice to it. Mine is like adding like rated R jokes, like all that type of stuff, and I like that stuff, like. But again, we live in a different society now, so comedy is different. Like every year, comedy changes. Like what we find funny, we don't find that funny anymore, right? Back in 2014 we found like Vine to be like the funniest thing on the planet, but now I see on Twitter like people are just like bashing a lot of the creators that were like we thought were funny back then. They're like, no, that's not funny, that's this, that's that, right? So I'm more like I like the comedy that like I was brought up with, like Russell Peters, Seth Rogen, the whole foul stuff, you know, like super offensive type of stuff, right? But again, I gotta limit it down because you know, like it's not really that acceptable anymore either, right? And you get in trouble for it.
Yep.
But you know, you don't like you won't get that many opportunities if you say a lot of those things, you know, that was said before, right? So I gotta cut it down, but I still keep it a little rated R than anybody else.
Right. But okay, so I think about this all the time, and I think, do you? Do you cut it down? Should you cut it down? Or
Yeah.
do you just stick with it? Because I still think your Ricky Gervaises, or there's a guy over here, a few comedians over in the UK that just stick with being rude, crude, and taking it to the max, right? And you know, they're going to be it's shock humor, and that's what they're known for. But they stay true to it. They're like, you know what? Don't like it, tough. But the minute you start apologizing, you're on the edge of being cancelled. And I say the problem with you, the thing with you is you've built yourself up, but now you got notoriety. It's like, what way do you go? You go, okay, I'm gonna be family friendly comedian, you know, you go, or do you go, nah, I'm now going to take it up a notch. Let's go off-road, 4x4 offensiveness, or, you know, shockingness. I think you're not offensive, you're shocking.
I don't keep it. I definitely don't keep it family friendly. I don't know why a lot of people think I keep it. Like I get a lot of people saying, "Yo, I used to watch you. You were so family friendly." I'm like, I was never family friendly. You know, I was never in my. Okay, yeah, you say one or two videos, or you know, couple videos that were like fine that you could show it to your parents, right? But majority of the videos were never family friendly, and they still never are, right? But I think when I make a video, I look at it like this. There's sometimes that my content gets removed off of platforms. That's the only thing I care for. If it's like, if it's worthy, if I know like, yo, it's gonna be a risk putting this thing out, then I don't make that joke, or I don't do that.
Yeah.
But if it's fine, I'm gonna go with it. All right. Yeah. I'm not gonna come down to like knock jokes and you know like oh dad this mom this dad no. It's like I want to still keep pushing it to rated R, but as long as I don't get you know screwed by like any social media platform where I get banned, and I don't want any of that stuff. You know, it's hard creating a platform.
And deep down, I'd imagine what drives you is what drives most comedians is there's just a desire to want to make people laugh. That's what that's the but you're not making no political statements. You're not trying to highlight the issues within the caste system. You're not doing it. You're kind of going, no, I'm here to make you laugh. That's where this comes from, right?
Yeah. Sometimes like the cast video was so there's a lot of truth in that video, right? I was just showcasing the truth. I'm just showcasing like how stupid you know people like they think a cast is such a big deal, but it's really not a big deal, right? Like people change perspectives if you tell them I'm a different caste or something. They'll change the perspective of you. I'm like, what does caste have to do with anything about who you are? Like, I'm not gonna judge you off of your caste. I'm gonna judge you off your personality, of what type of person you are. So in that video, like I was literally like, I said all the jokes that I've ever heard in my life about people saying about that group, people saying about that group. I'm like, that makes no sense. Like I'm like, my caste is Jat, right?
You're a Sahota. You're a Sahota. Yeah.
And Jat means farmer, right?
Yeah.
I've never farmed in my fucking life.
Have you got any plants? Have you got any plants at home?
No. I've been to India.
Have you ever done any weeding?
No, never. When I go to India, they're like, you know, they're like, yo, sadhana ka khabada, right? Just for the joy of it. I'm like, no. I'm like, what if there's a snake in there? I'm not trying to get bit just because you're gonna maybe cut some grass, right? I have no passion in farming whatsoever. My parents in the summer, they'll start like backyard gardening and all that stuff, you know, eggplants and all that. They're like, Sangtar pani late. I'm like, your problem. You put those seeds in there. You do that. I'm not gonna do any of that, right? So that doesn't really like. I'm Jat, but like I'm not a farmer at all. I
No,
don't.
you're right.
I have no interest in farming.
Okay, I get it. Do you not think the caste system needs to move on? I think about it all the time. I think, okay, I get what it came from. It came from like it came almost from like finding people that are similar to you. So, Judge, you're all farmers. You all live a certain lifestyle. You
Yeah.
marry someone who comes from that lifestyle. You should marry someone in that same lifestyle. Therefore, your Geordie will be stronger. Your family will be strengthened and all that. So, I
Yeah.
think the caste system needs to evolve. Now, I think the caste need to be like, oh, what kind of family are you? Do you talk about dirty openly or do you not talk about dirty openly? Because
Yeah.
that's a caste. That I think that should be because it's like because my house, my mum, my dad, my sisters, me, we openly talk about who needs to go to the toilet, when they went to the toilet, how the toilet was. Then you
Yeah.
can meet families and like "Asini enda gal karte." You know, like they don't talk about that. So do you know what I mean? It's like we need to evolve it into like so. Okay, so if you're not a Jat, what is your caste, Sangtar? What kind of person are you? What do you stand for? What are your what's your morals about?
Just chill, very chill,
Yeah.
open-minded. Like I don't. You could tell me everything, and I'm not gonna judge you off of like because what you did or like what you do and all of that. It's to me, it's more about personality.
Right.
Like like me, I'm like I don't take anything seriously like in life. Like I think like I've seen way too many space movies, and I'm like, yo, uh, drama that we do in like on Earth and shit. It really is very not necessary. It's very it has no value to it, right?
Right.
And so like I'm very laid back, chill, right? You could talk to me about anything, right? And I same thing. I could talk to you about anything, but I always have to understand that not everybody is like that. Not everybody wants to talk about everything, right?
Right.
So I have like 5, 6 close friends that will joke about anything.
Yes.
When I say anything, it's literally anything.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no limitation. So your
Yeah.
cast will be Machel cast.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I'm a
right.
chill cast.
Chilled cast. That's his cast. That's nice. So okay. So what's an average day for you now? Because this has become your business, and I imagine this wasn't always the plan for you.
Yeah.
There would have been, I know you've danced, and I know you come from a quite a creative family. Actually, your dad being a writer, your brother being a producer, all that. That's so you've got creativity in you. But
Yeah.
what was kind of half on the cards before this is now taken over, and what's it like now?
Well, me and my brother were always in like our dad put us in Pangada first. We did that for 7, 8 years, and I wasn't really like I was passionate about it, but I wasn't like super. I was let's say it's 50-50 passion, 50% like force.
Right.
So the passion part was it was the fun part where like you're winning competitions and all of that, right? That was a fun part. That was like oh, it's amazing. I love doing this. The boring part, like the part that I hated was, oh, gotta go to practice, blah, 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 gotta go hard, sweat for 1 hour, 2 hours. And our coach, like, he didn't make it easy on us. He'll make us in the winter run around 2 miles in the snow. And I'm like, what am I doing, man? I should be at home playing Nintendo. Right? But at the end of the day, what I learned from that is like you gotta go through the gritty nitty stuff and to get the reward, right?
Right.
Same thing with music. My dad put us in music in '09 when Sing is King came out, right? I remember that
Yeah.
day. And from there, like again, I didn't have the drive or the passion to sing, but again, when you do like shows and all of that, and people say, hey, you're doing an amazing job, and again, 100%, like when you see money coming in, you're like, pretty sick, right? So, and again, the feedback that you got, right, from people, the parents and all that, it motivated you to do it more. But again, the practice part of it was so boring. I remember me and my brother, so we have to do like, the hours in the morning. So
Yeah.
like practicing voice in the morning, right? We didn't want to get up in the morning because we already have school at 8, right? So we don't want to wake up 6:30 in the morning to do right? And then, but we had to do it, right? So me and my brother made a plan that we'll wake up 10 minutes before my dad comes from work, and we'll just start continuing. We'll just start saying When my dad comes back home, we're like, all right, we're done. Go back to sleep,
Right.
and then do the thing. But out of all that, I was definitely at a young age into entertainment because of
Yeah.
all the other things, right? And I was definitely into comedy a lot more. I loved comedy. and in class, like in school, I was considered as a class clown, right, for being an idiot. And I think my English teacher in grade 10, he's like, you should try out this thing, like see where it takes you, like the whole comedy thing, right? He's like, try out the whole acting thing and all that stuff. Again, I was still like lost in life, like what to do after like high school. I didn't go to university, right? I was supposed to go to film school, but I'm like, I'm not film school, right? Because
Yeah.
I used to work with Just Rain and them, right? And they're like, yo, you don't really gotta do that to become, go big and anything like that, right? But yeah, so I worked with Just Rain for quite a while. And after that, that's when I'm like, yo, I'm gonna start doing my own thing. I want to be my own comedian. Like I want to be a comedian myself. And that's where I got into like the whole acting thing of it. Again, the first 1 year was like, again, you're going through you're not growing, you're making videos, right? And you're suffering because you're shooting off of an iPhone too, right? You're like, man, the quality isn't there. And like you look at other people's content, you're like, man, I want my quality to be like that, right? But again, like it was like all through then finally after this one video that hit, then the second video hit, the third video hit, and then now we're here, So
But then there's work now. You see, it's funny, by the way. There's a lot of comedians that are just inherently lazy,
yeah.
and they openly talk about it. Kind of go, because there's a buzz, there's an excitement around creating an idea, and you get this idea, you're gonna go, oh, I think there's something in SAG being in every container, right?
Yeah.
But then the work's got to go into it. Then you got to kind of layer the shots and do all the shots and do all the angles and change blooming outfits every day or whatever. And then go, oh man, I forgot a shot. I've got to change back into Harbans and go back and do that shot. Oh my God. It's all of that. I get it. I feel your pain on that, right?
Yeah,
but that's work. That's where it becomes, where like the fun thing has become work. But two things can happen here. You can either go, right, I'm into this because I don't mind this kind of work, or
100%.
or is it like, how do you keep that fresh? How do you make sure that Sangtar is still motivated by this, and the lazy Sangtar, that cast of yours, doesn't come out?
Yeah. Two things. One is like, so I told you after high school I didn't go to university, so I'm not trying to be a hobo. Neither am I. Right. Neither I'm trying to work in I don't want to work in a factory. I worked in a factory for 3 days with my mom, and I'm like, how the hell do you do this, man? It's so hard, right? And like I appreciate my parents more ever since I worked those 3 days, because I'm like, yo, how do you guys do this every day? I can't even like do this for 3 days. I gave up after 3 days. I'm like, yo, kick me out of the house. I'm not doing this, right? But the other thing is like, even though it's hard work, it's like I have that passion. Like I love entertaining people. I think that's what I do best. I think that's the best quality inside me, is entertaining people. And I do want to one day become a successful actor, right? Actor, comedian. I want to be huge, whether it's in the Punjabi industry, in the Hollywood, right? Anything you want to, any Bollywood, Hollywood, whatever there is, I want to be in it, and like that's my dream, and that's what I work towards.
But I think it's it's what you're creating that is making it. So yeah, your delivery is great, your characters are great, and the way you can act is great. But I don't think somebody else can write Sangtar's parts. This. So are you now writing? Is this a film in the making? Is there a series in the making? Is there where? And I'm not trying to rush you on, because I don't like that either. People kind of go, oh, so where's this going? There it hasn't got to be a place where it's going. And I think you particularly, it's got to just come from here. If it feels right and if it feels funny, then you're going to do it. So I'm not trying to go, and now what? I'm trying to put a career plan on it. I'm just saying, but I'm sure there is an eye on like, oh, okay, we've created this ball of energy, this noise, this character, this personality that is you. Mm-hmm. Where do you go from here?
So there are a couple of things that I'm working, like my own projects, like a short film, right? And we're working towards that. But for those, like I can't shoot that by myself. I need a whole crew for that, right? So I gotta make sure it's the right idea. So we're running through, like my manager, like literally one idea I'll shoot at her, I'll write a whole. She's like, no, you can't send me an idea. You gotta send me a whole like 3-page assignment on it, right? And I'm like, all right, I make a 3-page, say, nah, throw it out. I'm like, no, I worked so hard for it. But I'm working on a short film. That's for what I'm working on from you know. But there are a couple other things that are big, very big, but I can't talk about it because I don't have like writing in front of me, like contracts, any of that, right?
Nazar lag jugi, don't mention it.
Yeah, something like that, right? So, but definitely, like, definitely everything goes well, you know. You will hear about them literally sooner than later. But those are the things that I was dreaming about, and those are the things that are happening.
Who makes you laugh? Who's your guy? Who's your guy or girl that you kind of go, love it when they're on the screen? Because, you know, okay, for example, when I put on a Sangtar video, I know what I'm going to get. Yeah. I know I'm going to get, and I'm kind of ready for it. Or, you know, recently the Sagwan's been forwarded to me like 7-8 times, you know, like everyone's like on it. So it's great. And that's a sign that, you know, you think, oh, you know, that one just lifted off, you know, and it must feel good when you know and you hear that back. Look at that. I can tell by your grin. You're like, yeah, like that one's blown up, right? But who, when you get that video on your phone, who would you check out, or that new show? Who inspires you? Who makes you laugh?
Seth Rogen. I think he's the biggest inspiration to me because he's that guy like who never gave a crap about what he's saying in a movie. You know, it was always foul. It was always like super messed up. And it made me laugh all the time. It still does. Like, I still enjoy all of his movies. And again, he's a writer, he's a director of his own stuff too, right? And that just motivates you more. But other than him,
no, I was gonna let me just touch upon him before you think about the other person, only because I love Seth Rogen, and I watch I watch the outtakes of Superbad because I find the outtakes and actually him and Jonah together, and I think Jonah's very funny as well, and the riffing and the kind of, and you're right, and I've always I'm not just saying this because you're on, and I think you're my hope for this. I really want there to be like a Punjabi stoner movie. Like, I just think there is a market for something like that, or just that kind of style of outrageous humor, and even outrageous songs, parody songs. I'm too old for it. I can't do it. But just, I kind of like, and I see you doing what you're doing. I'm like, and swearing in the videos, and I'm like, oh, one of these boys are gonna do it. One of these are gonna just go, you know what? We don't care. And there is, because now, I mean, you're in your 20s. Well, how old are you? You're like 23, right? So I'm 45. I could be your dad, right? So we are of different generations in a good way. And that what excites me about that for you then is I'm like, oh, like I said, you're like a kid of mine. So I'm like, if your dad is, I mean, how old's your dad? Do you mind me asking?
My dad's like 60.
Oh, okay. So he's older. He's an older dad in that respect. But like, he could be my age, and therefore, and even, actually, you know what? I've got cousins that are 60 that I would chat to like this. So my point is, and if they saw you swearing in a video, they'd be like, "So what? It's no big deal. Things have changed. This is your time, and this is your generation's time to go smash it, go if you like." So I do think now it's like Punjabi culture, the music, your AP Dillons, your kind of Sindhus, or whatever's going on. No one cares now. And there's a sense of freedom that you can do what you want. So I do think that Seth Rogen style, and then also more so, because you'll probably go, yeah, we take Seth Rogen, we add a bit of masala to it, we take it up a notch. So I love the fact that Seth Rogen is one of your influences, but therefore, are you writing that kind of stuff? Are you writing outrageous stuff for the screen?
I write it, but a lot of the times I can't do some of it. It's literally because of, it's because society, it's just different now. Like you don't, the freedom of speech is there, but it's really also not there at the same time. Like, you can't say a lot of stuff. I know I did a video a couple months ago, and I just mentioned for a literal second, and I mentioned Bin Laden's name in there for like a literal second, right?
Yeah.
And I was parodiizing a song from another song too. It wasn't even like I made that song up. No. There's a song, Punjabi song. It's even worse, if anything. It's like Hitler ban gaya soniye, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean? That's not a good thing. Saying, yo, I became Hitler. Right? And then I'm like,
What does that even mean? What does that mean? I've become.
it's a song. Sounds like basically he's like, I became Hitler, trying to protect you, right? Just trying to protect the girl, right? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, there's other references. There are other references you could have used there, bro.
Say another warrior's name, but you don't gotta say Hitler. Right? So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm like, I'll change it up. I'll say Bin Laden because he's, if anything, equally as worse as Hitler.
Yeah.
And I use that. And again, it's just, for me, it's comic. I'm just making fun of that fucking dumb song, right?
Yeah.
And what happened was it got taken down just that second. Even when I try to appeal it, I'm like, hey, like I'm just parodiizing a song. I'm not glorifying a war criminal or like a terrorist, anything like that. I'm just literally parodiizing a song. Here's a link. If anything, this song's worse. Yeah. Right? They use a worse person or equal amount bad as this person, right? Yeah. And just because of that, and it wasn't even a big element to the whole skit. It was just a small element, but it got taken down.
And you're right. It's a funny time, and I think the comedy's kind of finding its space and feet like that. And that's why you have your group of your 6 friends, because in that room you'll go, I think this is funny. Yeah. And they'll go, nah, and they'll vibe and go, bro, you can't say that. They go, you can't say that. You need that space, that kind of that notepad space, or that kind of, you can just go, blah, and then goes, no, bro, that's wrong. You go, is it? Okay, too much? Okay, but if you don't have that sounding board, because of cancel culture, you're out. You know, and that's it. And the machine against you can too big. But but so it feels like you're in this fun place. You got your kind of tight circle, and comedians, your tight circle of people.
No. They're literally my friends or the people that I shoot with, or like my brother is one of them. So my brother, like, he's not even a friend. Like, but all of them are my
friend. He's not even a friend. I don't even like him.
All of them are my brothers. Like, they're not really friends. I'll consider them as brothers, because to a brother you could say literally anything. Like I could say, I've said the most of shit to my brother that I can't say to a normal friend. But the other friends that I have that are brothers, like I've said, like, we can't say that crap in open in public like that. I was in high school. I still used to argue with my friends. I'm like, smack their ass. I'm like, what up, right? And then, oh man, you can't do that, right? Don't do that to me, right? Yeah. But now it's perfectly fine. I know my brother. Sometimes in the morning, I'll get up. I'll be sleeping. He'll get up before, which is rare because he sleeps way more than me. Like, I'm into my room and just kisses my cheeks, and I'm like, bro, what? For what? Again, it's just funny. I don't know why it's funny. It's just funny.
I've got the visual of your brother just leaning over you, just kissing you.
Literally. I'm like, what?
But do you wake up, if you're asleep and your brother's just kissed you, do you laugh instantly, or you like slapping him? What?
No, I try to kiss him.
Oh. I love that. It's nice. Listen, I just want to say, look, you're incredible. I'm a fan first, number one, and and I think it was during lockdown, really, wasn't it? All the videos started to fly, and you start seeing you. And actually, I got to say, there's a nice little scene bubbling in Canada, and there always has been, and particularly I'm proud to sort of say, Punjabi Canadian scene bubbling along, and it's sharp and it's fun and it's creative, and you know what it is? It's also random. Just Rain was the same. You're similar. I'm saying in terms of the randomness of the comedy, the weird little noises, the weird little looks, and you got your own little stuff. And I find that stuff funnier than a joke.
Yeah.
I don't think you could, like you say, I don't know why kissing on the cheek is funny. I don't know why a little mash of the hips is funny, but it just is, because it's stupid, because it's ridiculous, because whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And the fact that you're 23 and doing this, honestly, Sangtar, I think you should take a moment to pat yourself on the back as well and go, this is and it excites me, because I think, oh, you're just starting. This is great. Some of us are still working this out in our 40s, and you're getting it at 23, and you've got a wise head on your shoulders. And I don't know, I guess what I just want to leave you with is say, just go. That's it. Go. And don't bloody stop, man. Just don't stop. That's it. And trust your instinct, because you're onto something. But like I say, evolve, and enjoy it. And I hope you are enjoying it. And are your real mum and dad well, and everybody well in the world, and everything's good, and everything's happy and sat?
Yeah.
Because that's important. I think if you've got all that goodness around you, that's important too.
Yeah, 100%. No, everybody's I'm good too. We all have like our like like mental health problems. We all go through that kind of stuff, but it's more about how you cope with it. My thing always has been like comedy is for me like a coping mechanism. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't take everything seriously, is because you just want to make a light of things, like all the situations that happen to you, right? And so I think that's how I escaped all my like trauma or like whatever I was going through, right? Just make fun of it, just like make the situation lighter, right? And like gaslighting, that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That type of stuff helps too, right? And that type of stuff also helps you motivate to keep going on what you do, right?
You're just a bloke doing your thing. You're going to make mistakes, and particularly with comedy, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get it a bit wrong. You're going to go a bit too far. And maybe sometimes in the same way you might go, I could have pushed that joke further. There's more in that. And that's another mistake, if you want to call it that. But it's 100%. All a learning curve. No, I absolutely get that. But listen, all I can say is from a man who's double your age, sitting in London, who gets the videos sent, who's got his group of Punjabi boys and non-Punjabis, passing it around. It's we're getting the content. The content's coming through, and that you should take a little moment to enjoy that. And like I said, I'll be following your career. I'm coming to Canada in July, end of July, early August. So it's a wedding. I can sneak you in. Come and have a samosa and have a cup of tea.
Hey, definitely.
And it'd be great to see you though in the flesh. But until then, look after yourself. Keep smiling. Keep doing what you do. And I look forward to the next video being sent to me on my phone.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.